Hello and good morning and welcome to the Matrix Fitness Live workout. Got a really exciting workout for you today where we've got 3 rounds of exercises like we normally do, but this time that third round of exercises has got a lot of different activities in it as well. So we're going to look forward to that third round. First of all, you're going to need to create a little bit of space, just something around you where you can move a little bit side to side, a little bit of forwards and backwards. I've got a mat nearby me ready for some of our core exercises in the middle of our workout. But before we get going, let's just mobilize up through the body, warm your body up, prepare you for what you're about to do, and then we'll start taking you through all the exercises where I will be with you for every single repetition as well. So let's begin just by starting to open up the arms across your body. Starting to mobilize through the shoulders will just help create a little bit of movement, recruit a few of these muscle fibers, but also just free up the joint a little bit more, ready for the workout that we've got coming up ahead. Now let's just take you into a little rotation, just pivoting around from side to side, starting to create a little bit of mobility, not only through the ankles, the hips, but also through the upper spine as well. We want to make you feel good and feel like you're loose and able to work out hard before we start to really push your body. Okay, let's take you into a little half a squat. So just lowering your hips down towards your heels. And what we're looking for here is just to find a little bit of the depth that you feel comfortable with. Doesn't have to be too low to begin with today. But at the same time, we are going to be using these leg muscles almost straight away into our workout. So to prepare the body for the workout that's going to be coming up is a really good idea. It looks like we've got a bit of a heat wave coming up this week. So hopefully getting a few indoor workouts in the morning. So it will help you enjoy the rest of the day as well. Let's take you into a little step back lunge. So a large step back, then lower the back knee down towards the floor, step back up again. Now this range of movement can be as deep as you feel comfortable with. If you want to do it a little bit slower, or if you want to go a little bit shallower, that's absolutely fine. All I'm looking for you to do is to start to work on your balance a little bit, and also just prepare your body for getting into these deep ranges of movement as well. We have got some real big movements available today, but I will give you options to make them easier or harder as we come into every single exercise as well. Excellent. Let's just loosen up your body a little bit. Let's start to get your heart rates up a little bit more. Take an imaginary skipping rope and just imagine that you're pushing off the floor, starting to get a little bit of work into your calves, starting to get your heart rates up a little bit at a time. Good. Now let's just start to scissor those feet. This will be very similar to one of the first exercises that we're going to be doing today. So getting you to push off the feet, one foot in front and then the other, and keep alternating those over. It will just help get your calves prepared for some of this pushing off work that we're going to do. Right, let's just take that little skip from side to side. We've got a couple of exercises again that we're going to be changing direction. So this is good for ankle mobility, but it also just gets your body ready for changing direction so that no little injuries happen as well. Okay, good work. Let's stop there. Let's take you into a little punching position. So bring your hands up to the side of your face. You're going to jab, cross, jab. We're going to jump 180 degrees and then alternate the other side. So it's a jab, cross, jab. Each time we're throwing these punches, as we start to speed them up a little bit more, we're going to be pivoting off the feet. We're going to be bringing the hands back to the side of the face each time. And we're trying to get all of the upper body muscles prepared for the workout that we've got coming up by starting to really snap that fist forwards and backwards. And what I mean by doing that is just a nice quick movement so we can start to prepare the upper body muscles for what's going to be coming up as well. Good job. Okay, keep these coming. Last couple. And relax there. Okay, let's take you into what we call a knee strike. So we're going to pivot the feet over to one side. Hands reach up. You're going to drive your knee 3 times up into around about the stomach to chest height. And then we're going to pivot your feet over to the opposite side. Now, the idea behind this is not only is it a big movement for hip flexion and extension, so working that hip area, but also because of it being a dynamic movement, it will help bring your heart rate up and prepare some of the muscles that we're going to be working, especially in the first couple of rounds of exercises, really well as well. Last one's either side. So start to get your breathing up a little bit higher as well. Okay, loosen yourself up. Okay, so 45 seconds of work and 15 seconds of recovery is the time frame we're going to work to. We're going to be starting in just 10 seconds. Let me show you the first exercise. Your feet 1 foot forwards, 1 foot back. You're going to scissor those legs 6 times. Then what we're going to do is we're going to get down towards the floor, bring you back up, and then again scissor the legs. So let's get moving straight away. Once you've done your 6 scissors, down towards the floor, stomach and chest touch the floor, and then back up again. So this is your scissor jump with a get down. Now, if this is too much movement for you, once you've done your scissors, you could go into a squat, just lowering your hips towards your heels and then back into your scissor positions again. So you pick the intensity that feels good for you. The whole goal is to make sure that your body is really well warmed up. So it's almost like an extension of the warm-up with a bit of a dynamic movement to challenge you as well. Okay, relax there. Let's take this down to the floor for a little bit of strength work, where we're going to do an exercise called a Renegade Row. So into a press-up position, hold a strong press-up, and you're going to bring the hand in towards your shoulders, place it back onto the floor, and alternate from one side to the other. Now you're trying to hold a strong plank position here. So trying to keep your body still, keep control as you take your hand in towards your shoulders, and then back out again. It's all about maintaining this position as much as you can. My top tips for this one would be to keep your eyes looking down towards your hand. Maintaining good form is really important. Keeping control. Well, we've got just over 10 seconds left to go. This is one of those exercises that might not be dynamic, but it's a great strengthening exercise. And it's a really good exercise to actually improve your ability to do push-ups as well. Okay, let's bring you back up to a standing position. I'm going to take you over to one side to create a little bit of space. So this is a shuffle to push off. So a shuffle across, then squat to push off, and then we shuffle across over to the opposite side. Squat to push off. Let's get this moving. So you do need a little bit of space. If you haven't got much space, let me give you the option. Step, push, step, push. Make sure you're staying low and then push yourself off as well. But if you've got space, have a little shuffle, squat, and then push off. So a little shuffle, squat. And each time you can see I'm just pushing my arms backwards so that when I jump, I extend my hips forwards. What this means, it will start to allow me to maintain the focus on going from a squat position into a push where your hips come forwards. It will get me off the floor and it gets me into that extended hip position. Last one here, and relax. Okay, let's bring it back to the center. Scissor jumps to the get down. Okay, so this is this one. Scissoring those legs forwards around about 6 times, then down to the floor and back up again. We start in 5, 3, 2, let's go. Scissor positions. So just scissoring those legs forwards, down to the floor, and then get back up again, and then into that scissor position again. Now, each time you're getting into this position, chest and stomach is the goal, to down to the floor, and then back up again. So it's not a full press up, even though we do have those coming up a little bit later on. The goal is literally a dynamic movement all the way down towards the floor and then getting back up again. You have 10 seconds of work to go. Try and get as much repetition in as you can. Big ranges of movement and relax there. Okay, next exercise is our Renegade Row. That's our strong plank position. Bring the hand in towards the shoulder. Let's take it down to the floor. Get your eyes lined up with your fingertips, hands underneath your shoulders. Let's begin. Hand in towards the shoulder, place it back down on the floor, over to the opposite side. Good, keep control, maintain your position. Well done. Now, don't forget your goal is not to shift from side to side. So can you feel your big toe pushing into the floor as you're trying to hold yourself in that strong plank position? You almost feel like you're pushing the foot down into the floor to steal a little bit of stability. That's always a good sign saying that you are working that core well. Okay, relax there. Let's get you ready for the shuffle to a push off. Remember, it could be a 1 step, push through, 1 step, push through, or we take a little bit of a further distance, adding in a little bit of a deeper squat for a more advanced option as well. Let's get you moving. Shuffle across, little squat, push the hips forwards as you start to then extend up and get your feet off the floor. Now remember, if you haven't got much space, this is your option. So you pick the intensity that you need to work with. If you need a little bit more space, then that's absolutely fine. We do need a similar sort of space in our third round of exercises today. So make sure you have got that little bit of space. I can always give you alternatives, but just a little bit of movement, around about 2 to 3 meters. We're all getting used to what that 2 meters feels like now. Around about 6 foot of space, and then we can start you working. Okay, relax there. We're going to go down to the floor for a mountain climber now. So this next exercise is core exercises. So I'm going to position my mat directly into the center. The first exercise is mountain climbers, hands underneath your body, a bit like the Renegade Row. And for this one, we're driving your knees underneath your chin and chest. Now you can see I'm going fairly slowly. Some of you might be running on the spot here. I'm keen for you to keep a controlled movement here. Whenever we're working with the core, slow conditioning work is actually better than speeding it up and losing the position of your spine. So trying to keep your eyes looking down at an imaginary line between your fingertips. Think about every time you bring your leg in, controlled movement, so your knee comes to around about your chest, definitely past your stomach. And what you're really focusing on is maintaining control. Okay, let's get you to lie down onto your backs. We're going to do a next exercise called a V-sit. So we're going to lower your body right down towards the floor. Head, spine, hips, everything in contact with the floor. I'm going to extend my arms up and my legs out long. Exhale as I reach up. Inhale as I lower myself back down. So the goal here is to use as much lever length as possible. What that means is the longer the arms are and the legs are, the harder it's going to be. So an option to make it slightly easier is your knees to elbows. That's going to be your slightly easier option. But to make it a little bit more challenging, extend the arms and legs. And your goal, if you can, to try and get your shoulder blades off the floor. Think about reaching your arms upwards as you extend up. Then slowly lower yourself back down. Trying to maintain control the whole time. And relax there. Let's turn you over onto your front. The next exercise is a plank with a toe reach. So another great core exercise. Finding you into a strong press-up position. And then what we're going to do is we're going to reach towards your toe, back to that press-up position, and then alternate to the opposite side. So again, we don't actually do the press-up yet. But what we're starting to do is to create mobility and stability around the shoulder. And then later on, we'll just start putting in some single press-ups in between, a nice combination, which will start to improve your ability to be strong at doing push-ups as well. So a very strategic program today. Each time, pike your hips up, reset into that strong plank position, and then alternate to the opposite side. So take your time, keep control. Try and maintain good form, especially as you come back into that plank position. Think about maybe squeezing your butt cheeks. It's always a good way of making sure that your hips have come back to that extended position. And then relax there. Okay, so mountain climbers is coming up next. So give your arms a little shake, loosen them up a little bit. I know a lot of people will find a bit too much pressure on their wrists by going into that press-up position. You could always do this exercise on your elbows or use something just to build up a little bit of height. But this is your mountain climb again. Variations are available. Being on your elbows. There is some pieces of equipment that you can use, even if it's like a set of dumbbells that don't roll away. Maybe using those just to take a little bit of the pressure off the wrist. So they're always options that you've got. If not, you can always just stop, shake out the wrist, and then come back to it. I don't mind you doing those. It's just got to be about adapting the exercise to suit your ability as well. So again, focus here, controlled work, eyes looking down towards where your hands are, hips extending, so squeezing your butt cheeks together, and relax there. Okay, let's get you down onto your back. So those V-sits again. Remember, the longer your body is, the harder the exercise is going to be. So you pick the intensity that you want to work with. Starting in 4, 3, 2, exhale as you reach up. Inhale as you lower yourself back down. Arms and legs as long as you feel comfortable. Think about reaching up towards the ceiling, before you then start to lower down. Keep control. Good, well done. Maintain that reach. Lower yourself back down with control again. Making sure you breathe out as you reach upwards. Shoulder blades coming off the floor. Then control as you lower yourself back down. Last couple of repetitions here. Keep working strong and relax there. Okay, let's turn you over for those planks with the toe reaches. And then that will be the end of our core round. And then we start to really get into your fitness push as well. So really looking forward to some of these combinations that we've got in our third round. Let's finish off this core first. So strong plank position. Reach towards the toes. Reset that strong plank position. And alternate from one side to the other. So as the hips start to go up, the fingers reach towards the toes. And again, it doesn't matter if you can't quite reach your toes. Just reach down the mat or the floor towards your toes. You've got to be able to adapt exercises to your level. If you wanted to make this even harder, you could. If you wanted a little bit more strength, go with a press up in between. If you wanted a little bit more core work, could you go into a balance position in between each movement as well? And by going into that balance position, what you're going to start to do is to challenge your lower back as you do these movements as well. Okay, let's get rid of these mats. Time for our third and final round where we are going to push your fitness a little bit more. So the first exercise is called a Mogul Bounce. So this is where you move your feet in the opposite direction of the body. Then we go down and do a burpee. So we jump out, jump in, and up. Back to your Mogul Bounce. So just pushing your feet from side to side. Once we've done 6 of those, it's a burpee. Let's go again. Moguls. 5, 6. Down into your burpee position. Jumping out, in, and up. Let's go again. 6 moguls. Then into your press up. If you wanted to add that press up into your burpee, you can do. Again, these are all just options that you can pick how hard you want to make the exercise today. 6 moguls. And then back into that burpee position. Okay, relax there for me. Second exercise is speed skaters and a press up. So pushing from a side to side, dynamic movement. Once you've done 3, then what we're going to do is we're going to go down into a press up position, full press up if you can, back up, and then into your speed skater. So once you've done your 3, press up, back to that speed skater. Push from one side to the other. Now don't forget, we'll be doing all these exercises again, which means that you can really start to push your fitness. Once you start to know the exercises, that's when you really get to challenge yourself a little bit more. So 3 speed skaters, then a press up, and then push as much as you can. Be dynamic. It's a bit like sneaking in a burpee, isn't it, really? Oh, okay. Time's gone on that one. Don't forget, we're coming back to those as well. This will certainly get your heart rate up. Okay, jumping jacks to overhead squat. 6 jumping jacks. Then we go into our arms up, overhead squat, back to those jumping jacks. Join in. Arms go high, hips go down towards your heels, bring yourself back up. Let's take the arms out towards the sides and the legs at the same time. Arms go high, overhead squat. So here's the option. A side jack or a half jack where you step from side to side is your lower impact option. Keep going if you need to. Arms go high, push yourself. Okay, so these are your options. Once you've done them once, our expectation is then you pick the intensity you want to work with and then you start going for it on the second round yourself. And relax there. Okay, first exercise again, it's the Mogul with our burpee. Okay, so 6 side-to-side movements where you jump, feet one direction, arms the other. Once you've done 6, down to the floor to do a single burpee and then back up again. Let's get you moving. Burpee jumps out, jumps in, and jumps up, and you can modify that if you need to. Jump out, jump in, jump up. Let's go. 6. Then a single burpee. Okay, back to those 6. Jump out, jump in, jump up. 15 seconds to go. Keep this little rhythm going now. Once you've done those 6 moguls, push yourself into that burpee. Big dynamic movement if you can. Okay, and relax there for me. Great job. Speed skaters. We do 3 speed skaters to the press up now. That press up almost turns into a little bit of a burpee as well. Being a little bit sneaky, but I want that depth and I want the strength. Speed skater pushing from side to side. Let's get moving. Big dynamic movement. Once you've done your 3, down to the floor into a press up. The only difference is this time, you don't have to jump up at the top really. Speed skater again then. 2, 3, down to the floor for that press up. Let's go. Over towards the side again. Big movement if you can. Down towards the floor. Focusing on the depth of that press up. That's the key focus here. Push from side to side. Back to that burpee. You can make it a little bit harder if you wanted to. Okay, let's keep this going. Strong press up. Option of the burpee if you want to. Okay, relax there. Last exercise coming up. 6 jumping jacks to overhead squat. This is where you try and push yourself. We start in 5 seconds. Then it's just you and 45 seconds of work to go. As much as you can do. Let's go. Jumping jacks. Once you hit around 6, arms go up, hips go down towards your heels, bring yourself back up again. So 6 jumping jacks, then overhead squat. Keep yourself moving. I don't mind if you go quicker than me. I don't mind if you do those half jack options. I just want you pushing your own ability to do as much work as you can, making this workout count for you. Arms go high, hips down towards your heels, back out into those jacks. Let's go. Last 5 seconds to go. Let's get those jumping jacks to the finish now. And relax there. Great job, everybody. Well done. We're going to let your heart rates come down. Mine's on over 160 beats per minute. Definitely pushing yourself into that fitness improvement level. What we're going to do is we're going to grab the mat. And what we're going to do, lie the mat down just to help prepare you for some stretches as well. So grab your mat, let it down onto the floor. Let's take you down into an up dog and down dog positions. So hands underneath my shoulders. Lower my hips towards the mat. Now I've still got my knees on the floor, and that's fine at this moment. Eyes roll upwards, looking towards the ceiling or outside if you are. Roll your shoulder blades back and down. Then from here, push yourself into an up dog, and then through to your down dog. Now this down dog is where your eyes look towards your toes, hips are high, arms are extended. Now I'm just going to pedal my heels. So what I mean by doing this is almost walk them. I'm going to bring my feet a little closer together. Just move my heels up and down to maintain control and a stretch for the calves. Let's go back into that up dog stretch. So this time, I'm not going to allow my knees to touch the floor. I'm going to get the hips to get a stretch here. Roll the shoulder blades back and down. Eyes looking up towards where the ceiling and the walls meet. And then again, push to a downward facing dog. So hips go high, head looks towards the toes. Just hold the position this time. If you feel like you want to walk your heels, you could do. But I'm going to ask you just to hold this deep stretch to begin with. Now, lifting one foot up, swing that foot up towards your hand. Then reach the hand high. Now, think about pushing the back heel away. And as that extends, you're going to start to feel a lengthening stretch through the front of your hips, down the back of your leg. And as you reach your hand high across your body, you get a great rotation. Step back to downward facing dog and over towards the opposite side. Again, reach your arm up high, push the back heel away. Really try and lengthen through this whole side. And again, bring the hand down. Step back to downward facing dog. Now this time I'm going to rest my knees onto the floor, I'm going to drop my hips down towards my heels, and I'm just going to start to think about creeping my fingertips forwards so I gain a stretch through the outside of my back muscles, just underneath where the shoulders are. Excellent. Now we're going to slowly roll up through your spine, so land the feet onto the floor, inch by inch, roll up through each vertebrae of the spine, bring yourself back to a standing position. What we're going to do is we're going to take you into a standing quadricep stretch. So taking hold of one foot, you can always hold on to something if you want to balance. Bring your knees together. Think about extending up through the spine. Hold that tall position. Excellent. Now just slowly release that. Swap it over to the opposite side. Again, bring your knees close together. Slight bend in the standing foot. Well done then. Slowly release that. Just shake the legs out a little bit. Bring the arms around. Think about hugging a giant inflatable ball and think about bringing your chin towards your chest. If you were to blow into that ball, the ball would get larger. And I want your elbows to get a little bit further away, your hands to reach a little further away. Think about getting a stretch for your upper back by this ball inflating and extending outwards. Now let's bring those hands behind you. Lift your chin and chest up tall. Roll the shoulder blades back and down again. Starting to feel a stretch through the chest muscles. And then slowly release that as well. Thank you very much for joining us for this Matrix Fitness live workout. We hope you've enjoyed it. We'll be back again at 12 o'clock and also at 5 o'clock this evening. So we look forward to seeing you then. And also we'll be back on Thursday at 7:45 in the morning, 12 o'clock and 5 o'clock as well. Take care, everybody. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.